Today we're getting into something, well, honestly, it's a really painful paradox.
It really is. We're talking about that dynamic where you give your absolute all in a relationship, total self-sacrificing love, and somehow that becomes the very thing that drives the other person away.
The quickest route to being abandoned. It's so counterintuitive. And our source material today really tackles this head on.
So our mission today is to really unpack the mechanics of that. Forget the emotional side for a second and just look at the raw relationship dynamics at play.
Why does this happen? Why does excessive kindness seem to backfire?
Exactly. And I have to say, you really need to stick with us to the very end on this one. All these different parts, they only truly make sense when you see the whole picture, the full power dynamic.
Absolutely. Because the material, it does not pull any punches. I mean, one of the first things it says is just a blunt command, stop being his free maid.
It's so blunt.
And it frames the whole thing around this question, why do men dump devoted women? And the observation is that he loses interest precisely because you gave him everything. You sacrificed your pride, and then you get treated like trash.
And the source argues this isn't, a simple misunderstanding. It's not just that your love was misinterpreted. It's a fundamental shift.
A shift.
From attraction to boredom, to apathy. The conquest is over. And the source makes this key distinction. When you give that kind of unconditional devotion, you stop being his lover.
And you become...
You start acting like his mother.
Oof. That distinction, lover versus mother, that feels like the absolute core of the problem here.
It is.
So let's start with the first trap the source identifies, the first mechanism that pushes people into that role. It's called the wifey trap.
Or, as they put it, how a queen becomes a maid.
Okay, let's break that down. This is that point where, something that feels really noble at first starts to turn into something else.
It's a critical transition.
Yeah.
The appreciation starts to curdle into just expectation. And your actions, which come from a place of love, actually start to erode your own attractiveness.
The source gives such a classic example. Think about this scenario. You go to his apartment every weekend, you clean up his mess, you do his laundry, you even stock his fridge for him.
Right. And at first, he's so grateful.
He's over the top. He's saying things like, babe, you're an angel. I want to marry you.
And that praise, that positive feedback, it just reinforces the behavior. You think, this is working. He loves this. This is how I show my value.
But that's the danger, isn't it? Because he feels grateful, so you keep giving more and more. But what happens after, say, 3 months or 6?
The source is crystal clear on this. That noble sacrifice, it completely transforms into expected service.
And there's often a single moment that just reveals that the shift has happened.
The crisis moment.
Yes. The example they give is, it's just devastating. Imagine you're sick one weekend. You can't go over to his place to clean.
And his first reaction isn't, oh no, are you okay? Do you need some soup?
Not even close. He looks at his own overflowing laundry basket, gets annoyed, and actually asks you, why is this place such a mess? Weren't you supposed to come over?
And that's it. That is the proof. The devaluation is complete. You're not his wonderful partner giving a gift anymore.
You're a failed service provider, broken appliance.
By providing all that unconditional domestic labor, the source says you voluntarily step down from the throne of being the woman in his life, and you become a piece of comfortable furniture.
Comfortable furniture. That is such a harsh phrase, but it makes a dark kind of sense. You're useful, maybe even essential, but you're not exciting.
Precisely. And the source just lays out the biological reality of it. Men don't feel that kind of sexual tension or desire for their mothers or for their furniture.
Once that role shifts to pure utility, the excitement is gone.
The tension, the respect, it all just evaporates. It's not a partnership between two independent, desirable people anymore.
Okay, so that's the wifey trap. Too much service kills desire. But then there's a second mechanism, and this one is about killing respect by giving up your voice.
The cool girl syndrome.
Ah, the cool girl.
Yeah.
The one who's always trying to be super understanding, totally laid back, easygoing.
And according to the sources, this whole syndrome is just rooted in fear, deep relational terror.
What kind of behaviors are we talking about here?
It's tolerating his bad behavior, his ghosting, him being indifferent, not communicating. You put up with all of it.
Why?
Because you're terrified. Absolutely terrified that if you complain, if you ask for more attention, if you demand anything, he'll just leave.
So you think you're being the ideal partner,
Yeah.
the low-maintenance girl that every magazine says men want. You keep quiet to keep the peace.
But here's the bitter irony the source points out.
Yeah.
He doesn't find peace in your silence. He just finds you. Easy. And that leads to probably the most counterintuitive outcome in the whole book.
Which is?
He often leaves the cool girl, the one who never complained, who made his life smooth as silk, for the woman who is, and this is a quote, selfish, emotional, demanding, and high maintenance.
Hold on. That makes absolutely no sense on the surface. Why would anyone trade a calm, easy relationship for one that sounds like chaos?
It's not about seeking chaos. It's not about seeking stress. It's about seeking investment.
Investment.
The comfort that the cool girl provides.
Yeah.
It removes any need for him to invest.
Yeah.
There's no challenge, so there's no sense of achievement.
Oh, I think I'm starting to get it. And the source has an analogy for this, right?
A brilliant one.
Yeah.
And this is where the value gap really becomes clear.
Let's hear it.
They say the cool girl is like tap water, always available in the kitchen.
Tap water. Okay.
It's essential. You need it to survive, sure.
Yeah.
But it's cheap. It's always there. It's completely predictable. And you take it for granted. You don't even think about tap water until the day it stops working.
And the high-maintenance, demanding woman.
She's the expensive vintage wine he has to pay a high price to taste.
Ah.
The wine demands effort. It requires expense and knowledge and appreciation. There's a risk involved. The tap water is guaranteed, so he never fears losing it. But the high price of the wine forces him to value it.
That analogy it snaps everything into place. It connects both traps, the over-serving and the over-tolerating, directly to the book's main idea about value.
Yes, and that core principle is, it's incredibly blunt. Without leverage, your devotion is worthless.
That's such a painful word. To attach that to love, to devotion, which feels so pure. Well, what do they mean by leverage? It's not about money, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's about relational influence. In this context, leverage is really two things.
Okay.
First, it's your perceived worth. And second, it's the fear of loss. It's the quiet confidence and the clear boundaries that signal, I am valuable and I have other options.
So when you drop all your boundaries and just give and give and give, you're basically giving away your leverage.
You're eliminating it. And that's what kicks off this really destructive feedback loop.
So why does it lead to contempt? Why not gratitude?
Because when that love is being given from a position of perceived weakness, from someone who has made themselves small just to accommodate him, the analysis says men don't cherish it.
They don't.
No. That devotion just becomes free charity work, and its main function is to boost his own ego.
So he's not thinking, wow, I'm so lucky I have to treat her well.
No, his internal monologue, according to this, is more like, I must be a god for her to act like this. I must be amazing if she's willing to accept so little in return.
It inflates his ego at your expense.
That's the mechanism of devaluation right there. If you give everything without requiring any effort or respect back, you remove any reason for him to fight for you, to value you, or even notice you might leave.
If you're guaranteed, you're not chased. If you're utility, you're not desired.
And that completes the picture. That is the whole dynamic we were trying to understand.
It's a really harsh analysis, but it's a powerful one. So after laying all this out, the source doesn't just leave you there. It pivots pretty hard to the solution.
Right. The prescription, what you can actually do about it. And it starts with a big shift in focus, away from trying to be the nice girl.
And toward being what?
The difficult woman.
Okay, difficult woman. That sounds a little manipulative, like you're supposed to play games. Is that what they mean?
No, and this is a really crucial distinction they make. A difficult woman isn't being malicious. She's not creating drama for the sake of it.
So what is she?
She's simply a woman who has self-respect, who enforces her boundaries, who understands that her kindness is a gift, not an obligation. She's difficult only because she has standards, and having standards is a signal of high value.
That reframes it completely. It's not about being mean, it's about having self-worth. So what are the action points? How do you become this difficult woman?
The source gives 3 key actions. Number 1, make your kindness a reward, not a right.
A reward, not a right.
Yes, your generosity has to be earned by his good behavior, by his respect for you. It shouldn't just be the default setting he wakes up to. If his effort drops, your level of service should drop too.
Okay, that makes sense. What's number 2?
Make him read your mood. Stop making his life so easy and frictionless. If he asks how you are, and you're actually upset because he was a jerk yesterday, you don't just say, I'm fine, to avoid a fight.
So you let him know there's a problem.
Your emotional state is critical information. He needs to invest effort into understanding it and fixing it if he caused the problem. The nice girl does all that emotional work herself. The difficult woman requires him to participate.
Okay, and the 3rd point?
Make him anxious about losing you.
So we're circling back to the vintage wine, the unpredictable anxiety.
That anxiety is a direct measure of your perceived value. If he truly believes that his indifference could lead to you withdrawing, not just pouting for an hour, but actually leaving, he will step up his effort.
It signals that your presence is valuable, and it's conditional on his respect and engagement.
Exactly. And that really summarizes the whole value proposition. Sincerity, devotion, all that good stuff only becomes something he's terrified to lose when your influence, your leverage, is alive and well in the relationship.
Without that leverage, your sincerity is just a giveaway. It's charity work.
And that's been our deep dive, looking at these precise mechanisms from appreciation to expectation, from comfort to challenge, and how influence is the key that determines how your devotion is valued. It really is all about understanding the dynamics.
Yeah, and the conclusion is pretty clear. In these kinds of dynamics, sacrificing your boundaries and your influence in the name of love can be a direct path to becoming furniture.
So the focus has to shift away from constantly trying to prove your love and toward consistently maintaining your value.